Welcome to the Security and Compliance series, SC-900. And this is the second chapter in the first module that we need to understand. I'm pretty sure if you are not a beginner, you're already aware of this. But if you are, then of course it will help you to understand the shared responsibility model. And if you're not a beginner, then it would be a good refresher. Yeah, so let me take you through. It would be a small video because we're just trying to understand the shared responsibility model. And in next video, we'll talk about the defense in depth. So people have this misunderstanding. Earlier it was a lot, but now a lot of people are aware of cloud, but earlier it wasn't like that. But still you find people who think if they are moving to the cloud or if they are adopting the cloud, then everything would be taken care by the cloud provider. No need to worry about the security and the maintenance and anything, but it is not like that. It totally depends where you are hosting your workloads. For example, there are different ways that you can deploy your application. You can create your application. You might be managing your own infrastructure, or you're just taking care of the code. For example, let's go to these models step by step so that you would be able to relate and understand it better. For example, the traditional way is on premises, where you are managing everything. Your physical security, your data center, all software, hardware, everything is managed by you. So entire responsibility is yours. But when you go to the cloud, it depends where you are hosting your workload. For example, it may possible you are creating your own virtual machine, your own load balancer and virtual network, and entire infrastructure you are creating in someone else's data center. Here, someone else's cloud provider. It may be Microsoft, it may be AWS, it may be GCP, doesn't matter. But someone else's data center, you are creating your infrastructure. So in that scenario, you would have more responsibility because the physical data center network and compute is taken care by the cloud provider, but not the security of your virtual machine, not the performance of your virtual machine. You need to secure your virtual machine. You need to manage your virtual machine. You need to patch your virtual machine. You need to take care of the virtual network and whatever infrastructure you are creating on cloud or someone else data center. We call it infrastructure as a service. So they are providing you the base, the data center, and you are creating your infrastructure. That's why infrastructure as a service. It may possible you are not using the virtual machine, you are just deploying your application to the app services, right? In that scenario, you are taking care of your code, your application, and the deployment, but you are not even taking care of the virtual machines on which the application is running. You're not taking care of the virtual machine on which the SQL is running. For example, Azure SQL database. You are deploying the database, you are working on the database, you are managing the identities, but you are not taking care of the infrastructure on which the SQL is running. That kind of service is called platform as a service. And the third one is software as a service, where you are not even taking care of management of like the database that I mentioned, or deployment of the code in case of the app services. In SaaS, we are just buying the licenses from the SaaS owners, SaaS application owners. It could be, you must have seen the applications like Microsoft 365, Dynamic CRM, Skype, or Salesforce, those kind of applications where you just buy the license and you take care of your identities and data, and everything would be taken care by the SaaS owners, the one who is creating that application. They are just distributing you the licenses so that you can utilize that application. So it depends what kind of model are you working on, and accordingly the responsibility is shared. And we can relate it with this simple analogy where it is more like, you know, when people live on flat, they do not own the land, somebody else owns the land. and you live maybe on 10th floor. So you are responsible for your own flat. You will take care of the painting on the wall, or the curtains color and everything, whatever is there inside the home, like your couches, your TV, your internet, everything. But the land belongs to someone else. So you may be living in your own home, right, the old way, where you build your home, you buy land, you build your home. That is like on premises, where you are taking care of everything, like the on premises data center. But if you're living in a flat where land is owned by someone else, but you're responsible for your own flat, in that scenario you can relate a little bit like infrastructure as a service. But if you're living on a rent, you're not even responsible for the paint on the wall or even the curtains color, things like that. In that situation, you can relate it like a PaaS, platform as a service. Someone else lends someone else flat, but you're just living there on rent. Could be relatable as a platform as a service. And if you are staying in a hotel where you're not even taking care of anything, that could be SaaS, if you could relate with that analogy. So these are the different models. Now let me quickly share my screen and take you through the various responsibilities, how they're shared. But you can easily relate now. Here we go. Now you can see right now, let me this. These are the various responsibilities right here, from information, data, devices, account, identities, till physical data center. You have these all are the physical things: physical network, host, and data center. These are when you're creating your own virtual machine and things like that. You're managing operating system, network controls, application. These are the identities and directory infrastructure. Though, so in nutshell, these are the responsibility. Basically, these are all the responsibility that come across whenever you run any application. Whenever you're running any application, deploying any application, or maintaining any application, these are all the responsibilities. Now, these are the various models that we talked about. Let me change the color. Yeah. So if it is on premises, you are responsible for everything, right? We already talked about it. But let's suppose it's IaaS, then you're not responsible for these physical things, right? This would be taken care by the cloud provider. You would be responsible for if you are because in IaaS you are creating your own virtual machine, you are creating entire infrastructure by yourself, so you are responsible for that infrastructure. These all blue mark boxes is your responsibility or customer's responsibility, and these three are cloud providers responsibility. So as we go up from on-prem to IaaS to PaaS to SaaS, customer responsibility is getting decreased, cloud providers responsibility is getting increased. So the control is like the opposite. The control is getting decreased as well. As per the responsibility, you would have less control over, because in infrastructure as service, where you have your virtual machine, you have all the control on the virtual machine. But if you're using a SaaS application, you would have the less control. Even the control is getting less and less. So is the responsibility. Now, if we talk about the PaaS service right here, you see IaaS has already confirmed this is taken care by the cloud provider, but even these things, this operating system is also taken by the cloud provider, and these things is more like and half responsibility. Some is taken care by cloud provider, some is taken care by you. All right. And if you talk about the SaaS, these are the main responsibilities of yours, and rest everything would be taken care by the cloud provider. And this is yours. That's the only reason you have to you have to manage this, because this is totally yours. This is your information, this is your devices, this is your account and identities. Cloud provider could not have this information, or any SaaS owner couldn't have this application, this information. This is only yours. That's why this will always be yours and you will be managing it. So this is the shared responsibility model. I hope this would be helpful, and let's meet in another video. Till then, take care and keep working out. Bye-bye.